Show mode. Okay, are we able to see this in slideshow?
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. Dr. Berman, you can go ahead and get started.
Right. Thank you so much. I wanted to kick this off. This session is really about process and systems, and I've spent the better part of 10 years doing this at GCU, so I wanted to just start it off. Doctoral education, as you know, is difficult, and there are so many challenges cited in the literature. But beyond the literature, I'm sure you can all remember the isolation during your own dissertation phase, not knowing what the resources are, where they're located, not knowing the dissertation process, not knowing how and where to acquire software, not knowing anything about IRB, and not knowing where is the IRB, not knowing who else is in the program, and not knowing how to find them and communicate to them. So to address many of these issues, we strategically invested time and money with the hope that we might assist our learners and perhaps advance methods in our own doctoral education. Well, the first thing that we did, as many of you know already, we launched the DC Network as the master repository of everything doctoral, regardless of program or regardless of emphasis. And as you saw in one of the earlier presentations, the college populated the DC Network with forms, with templates, and with forums, which in addition to providing critical information, helped to provide and enable collaboration. Well, soon thereafter, we continued to innovate by deploying the Institutional Review Board software system, which enabled detailed tracking and approval of the IRB applications. With this information as a baseline, we began the difficult process of figuring out how to measure and then reduce the time frame needed to approve an application. While the turnaround time in many institutions is measured in weeks and in months, we sought an object to do this in just days. And I'm looking at the list of attendees, and I see Daniel J. Smith, who worked with us in a research initiative at Banner, where the turnaround time at that time was months, and we did ours in days and weeks. Well, as our early learners began the dissertation phase, they frequently pursued quantitative research. And at that time, the software was extremely expensive and could cost as much as $700 per faculty member. So we negotiated with IBM and we finalized an offer for all faculty and students to use the software without surcharge to them. Well, as these learners entered the dissertation phase, we needed to provide a virtual space in which the dissertation committee could meet and collaborate, a place where draft document versions could be saved and where committee members could collaborate. Well, we developed this technology and extended it to the DC Network by recreating the Learner Dissertation page. We now have over 7,000 groups and over 24,000 pages. Yes, this was difficult, expensive, and time-consuming, but it demonstrated our commitment to the doctoral community. Well, while the Learner Dissertation pages became the repository for dissertation artifacts, it is and never was a substitute for real-time communication. Talking with faculty members about research, reviewing documents, or just chatting about a new publication. Therefore, we acquired and enabled Zoom video conferencing, which we're using today for every dissertation chair. This year, faculty, you will host over 21,000 sessions, which is truly, truly remarkable. Now, extending upon that even further, we announced recently the DC mobile app. When this is installed on your phone or your either your Android phone or your Apple phone, you will receive alerts when your learner on the DC Network has posted a document or posted a question to you. I know we're all very busy, but I ask you to please consider the value of responding to a learner in the midst of the dissertation, acknowledging in real time that you simply receive the learner's message and you will comment on it at a later time or very shortly as incredible value. It means that you're listening and willing to help. And oftentimes, this makes a great difference and can be the sole factor enabling success. I guess the message I want to leave with everyone is we continue to invest in technologies. We've done this for over 10 years. We've invested in technologies and processes which hopefully will help our learners while demonstrating leadership that improves doctoral education by reducing isolation and enabling communication and collaboration. While many institutions openly discuss, and the literature talks about this, and I did a paper with Dr. Ames on this, and accepted challenges and pitfalls of doctoral education, we are committed to making it better. We began in 2010. We made great progress. We're not done, so stay tuned. So that is sort of our commitment to you, the faculty, and to our students. We've done a lot, and we'll do much more to make this as easy as possible. And as Dr. Berger said frequently, and we all say, we can make it easier, but we can't make it easy. So having said that, as a preface, I'll turn this back to Michelle to go through some additional detail.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Berman.
Did I do it in 2 minutes?
No, but that's okay.
Okay.
I allowed you to keep going because you had
Sorry.
very valuable insight, and it's incredible. Over 20,000 sessions. That's just amazing. And think about that. That's with about, 3,600 active dissertation learners. Think about how many sessions that is with our learners. It's just incredible. I'm going to go over just a couple things on this. It is a lot of information. I'm going to try not to rush through it, but I do want to at least get through all the slides if I can. So I'm going to review very quickly just our basic dissertation milestones progression outline, and then go over some of the key systems to help support you in supporting our learners through that progression. So first off, this actually is information that you can obtain on the DC network via the dissertation milestones table. We put it in a visual form just to give a quick explanation of the start to finish dissertation process. We have 8 official levels to a learner's dissertation journey. The first 4 levels are listed here, starting with the prospectus, which is reviewed by the chair and the methodologist. The prospectus does not have a form attached to it, but the learner does have to have an acceptable prospectus by the end of their 955 class, as many of you have seen in the curriculum. The second level is the proposal. That involves the entire committee as well as the peer reviewer at level 2. And the proposal is submitted via the LDP, and then once the peer reviewer has approved or conditionally approved, they initiate a D35 form. Once that has been done, the proposal defense is scheduled. The learner defends their proposal to their committee, and if they pass that, then the committee will then sign the D35 that was initiated. And then they can go to level 4, which is the IRB process, and that is submitted through one of those systems that Dr. Berman referred to. We won't be able to go over that in detail today, but it's called IRIS, and that is our IRB support system. And once that has been approved by IRB, the D50 is signed and provided to the learner and committee. Level 5 is when the learner has finished collecting all of their data and analyzed it. They've written chapters 4 and 5, and they're ready for committee review. The committee reviews it, and then once they deem it ready to move forward, submit to the peer reviewer at level 5, and then the peer reviewer will initiate the D65 form. That form is not signed until level 6 is complete, which is when the learner has successfully orally defended their dissertation to their committee and to that peer reviewer. Again, once that's successfully done, then the D65 is signed. The dissertation is then submitted by the chair to level 7, which is form and format. The form and format reviewer reviews that document. There may be some iterations involved with that. Once that has been approved, they sign the D75 and then send the dissertation manuscript back to the reviewer for Dean's read. And then the level 8 is the Dean's read and final approval of the dissertation. And once that has been completed, then the Dean signs the D80. And that is our dissertation process in a nutshell. The quick version of it. In order to support our learners through the dissertation process, we do have 3 key systems. And if you attended my previous session, you may have gotten some of this information then as well. We have LoudCloud, the DC network, and Zoom. LoudCloud is the official place of record for attendance and grades. The DC network is where we house all of this dissertation information, including our forms, templates, discussion forums, as Dr. Berman mentioned. And then we also have our learner dissertation page, which is a private page for the learner and their committee. And then we use Zoom, which is what we're on right now. It's an amazing video conferencing software. You can use it for face-to-face communication, coaching sessions, screen sharing, as well as instant message communication via the chat function, which is really convenient for everybody. So jumping into LoudCloud, this is some additional information I did not present earlier. For all of you who do teach our dissertation classes, this should look fairly familiar. When you log into LoudCloud, you'll see your dashboard. I'm only bringing this up because there's some way that you can optimize your LoudCloud dashboard. I just wanted to quickly run through it. I have mine set up to show any ungraded items as well as any new forum posts down in the bottom left-hand corner. So to be able to set this up, there's a little dot button on the upper right-hand corner. If you click that, then you can check the items that you want to see, such as ungraded items and forum posts, and then those appear in those areas and you can move them around. These are really great just to be able to get an idea of what is going on in your classrooms without logging into each one individually. The LoudCloud forum communication is important. There are 3 forums within LoudCloud that a learner may communicate. They post their weekly attendance on the discussion question. Those are required every week and chairs do grade those. The other communications that might occur in LoudCloud are via the private forum and the questions to instructor forum. Those are for personal communications that we might not want to put in the LDP, such as grade questions, emergencies, personal circumstances, anything the learner may not want to share with their committee. And our GCU policy is that those questions and posts are responded to within 24 hours. I just wanted to touch on a few grading procedures. I'm not going to talk about how to grade, but there's a couple nuances with our dissertation classes that I just wanted to point out to all of our dissertation chairs. In order to post a final grade in any dissertation class, some recent updates have made it so that you do have to post a grade for every single item, including these 2 exempt grade drop boxes that you will see in some of the dissertation classes. So just be mindful of that. You don't have to actually grade it. We don't ask students to really submit anything unless they have a final document, such as their approved proposal or dissertation. So all you need to do is just enter that 0.01 grade. Don't fill out the rubric, and you're set to go. And then one of the things that you can look for if you're having difficulty posting final grades is look for that little ready icon in the bottom of the screen here. If it is ready to be pushed, it will say ready. If not, it will say not ready. And so if it says not ready, there's a grade missing somewhere. You can scroll all the way through and find which grade it is. And just to go over the DC and LDP briefly, again, the DC network has all of our information regarding our doctoral programs, processes, and discussions. Once all of the committee members are assigned to a learner, then the LDP will be set up, which is their private page that they only have with their committee members. So all of the communications on the LDP are private to the committee and the learner, as well as administrative staff and CDS. It is a convenient place for all members of the Learner's Dissertation Committee to easily communicate, plan, and share documents. And it does have an email function to where any messages posted in the email forums are pushed to my GCU emails, and you can use that to communicate via the LDP as well. Just to go over a quick rundown of the DC homepage. I wish I had more time to go over this in more detail, but just some basics here. The first thing that you will see is up in the top of the page, you will see a My Dashboard link. That will take you to all of the learner dissertation pages that you as a faculty member have. So if you're a methodologist, you may see dozens of LDP pages. If you're a chair, you may see 1 to 20, depending on how many learners you work with. And all of those will be listed on that page. The other area that you will see on the home page is all of these purple drop downs on the left side. This is where about 80% of what you will need to support your learner, as well as what your learner will need to make it through the dissertation process. I can't go through each one of them, but what you will see is that there are some dissertation resources that does have all of our IRB information, our dissertation templates, forms, videos, research trainings, pretty much anything that you can think of that your learner might need or that you may need to support them. We also have a link to the software that Dr. Berman referenced, SPSS, Max QDA. I can't remember if there was some other software. Oh, we have some links to Layered as well, the Layered statistics with some discount codes. So those are all in there as well. We also have a residency drop down, which is really important even for our dissertation learners because there's some really good resources in there. And I invite everybody to please explore those drop downs. There's so many wonderful areas to go in the DC network. And when you do have some time, just take some time to explore it and see what you find. You'll probably be surprised as to how much is located in that area. Just a quick LDP overview. Again, when you click that My Dashboard, you will see a page pop up that says My Spaces. I just have one listed here just as an example that you'll see all of your committee LDPs. It'll say committee and then the student's first and last name. You can click on that and it will take you to their LDP. And this is what a basic LDP page looks like. This one really isn't set up. So it's kind of what you will see if you have a brand new student to your LDP. There's several areas of interest. Email forum is where we house all of our communication with our students. These are the ones that get pushed to my GCU emails and that you can reply to if you would like to have a convenient way to do that. The documents folders are also in the bottom right corner, as you'll see highlighted there. That's where all of the documents that the student submits, as well as the committee reviews, should be housed throughout the entire process. That's also where any review documents for level 2, level 5, IRB, all of those documents should be stored there as well. And then you will also see some important links with some resources. And then all of our textbooks that our learners have had access to throughout their program are linked in the LDP as well, so that learners and chairs can go back to reference those as needed throughout the dissertation process. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the LDP, this is where you will see the area to submit your learner's proposal, dissertation to the peer review process or to form and format. So you can click on those links that are in the red box there. The AQR submission is for the proposal and the dissertation initial submissions. So chairs will use those to follow those submission protocols, and then the form and format submission is for after the D65 has been signed. Just some things to think about when you do go to fill out any of those submission forms. I don't have screenshots as to what the form looks like, but it's a basic web form. There is a lot of information that you will need to be able to input. Some of that information includes the actual proposal or dissertation information, their title, what their degree is, those types of pieces of information. One of the things that a chair will want to make sure they do before they start filling out that form is that they have all of those documents accessible in an easy to find place, so that when they're filling out the form, they can just upload them as directed to as they're filling it out. It's a fairly self-explanatory form, but if you ever have any questions, we do encourage our chairs right away to do the peer review ready training. It is required for everybody to complete prior to submitting to level 2 review, but the sooner you can complete that training, the better, because it has a lot of information about some of these processes and tips and tricks as well. And then any resubmissions, second or third round of peer review, are emailed to the peer reviewer, and they provide you with that information at that time. And then here's the DC mobile application that Dr. Berman was referring to. Would you like to go over that in a little bit more detail briefly?
Sure. It's a great application. In fact, I was looking at my notes. My first conversation about this was on August 1st, 2014. We've gone through 6 or 7 prototypes because it had to be very, very fast, easy to use, with a fairly large type font, and that does work. So this can be downloaded from either the Android Play, I think it's the Android Play Store, or the Apple Store. It's free. It'll prompt you for the name of the community, which is dc.gcu.edu. You basically just enter in your logon with your password, and that's all you really have to do. What will happen is, as one of your students emails you something through the DC network, or whether they post something in the LDP, you'll get a little message and you'll be able to reply. The benefit of this is that it's a communication vehicle. It will indicate to the learner that you're there. And I know when I was testing this out, I got a message on a Saturday night. I simply replied, "Thank you very much. I'll look at this on Sunday." And that's all I had to do. So it's very easy, and you can look at all your acknowledgments and communications, and it's just very easy to use.
Great, thank you. I've used it myself as well, and I do like it. It's great just for those little communications, just to let them know that you received your message or to send a last minute thought that you don't want to forget about. Okay, it's not moving to the next slide. Okay, a quick Zoom overview, because I know we're starting to run out of time. I did go over Zoom briefly in the previous session as well, but just some things regarding Zoom. Why do we use Zoom? Again, it reduces that isolation and anxiety that learners experience in an online dissertation program, and it provides an avenue for transparent communication. And just some tips regarding using Zoom. There's the screen share feature and recording. It can also be used as a solo feature. You can start your own Zoom session by yourself and record it if you'd like to make a video for your learner for them to view later. This is really helpful when learners maybe are overseas and you're having a hard time coming to a common time to meet and you really need to get them some information. That's a great way to do that. But as a reminder, Zoom does not replace written embedded feedback on dissertation documents. I always recommend to use both. Make sure that you talk to them via Zoom, review the document with them on the call, but then also provide them with that written embedded feedback. There's a few different ways that you can use Zoom. It's available as either a desktop application, a mobile application on your phone or tablet, as well as just via their website. The most convenient, if you're on your computer, of course, is the desktop application, and I absolutely love the phone app. It works really, really well. The desktop application is particularly useful for actual conduction of the Zoom calls. And so you can record on the desktop. You can also, of course, schedule. You can use the chat and share your screen. So if you need to share a document, holding a Zoom call on your computer is the most efficient way to do that. The mobile application is really efficient for scheduling calls as well. You can have a video call with your learner. I don't believe it does allow you to record though. So that's one downside to it, but you can chat with them. If they have their own Zoom account, they can send an IM to you, or you can set up group chats with your learners. I know a lot of chairs do that as well. And then the website allows you to do everything, schedule and start meetings. It just does not have that chat feature. So just a quick rundown of the desktop application. I went over this in an earlier session. When you download the desktop application, it looks somewhat like this, where you can schedule a meeting, join a meeting, just create a meeting impromptu, and then you can also, I believe that share screen, I haven't used it yet, but you can share your screen to do a recording session to make a video. And you can go to the meetings tab to see all of the meetings that you've scheduled, and you can start them directly from there. Or you can copy an invitation and send it to your learner or another committee member. Once you're in Zoom, if you are needing to share a document, you can just click the little share button down there and then click which window you'd like to share. And if you would like to record the session, which we recommend that chairs record sessions with their learners with their learner permission, you can just click this little record button and it will pull up an option to record to the cloud or record to your computer. Both have their pros and cons. The cloud, we can't guarantee that that cloud recording will always be there depending on how clouds work. But then the computer recording, of course, is a very large file and can take a while to upload and download. So just some things to think about. I typically recommend shorter sessions, phone calls, things like that. That might be good for a cloud recording, but defenses, you may want to use the computer function just to be safe. You can also, I believe, record to the cloud and then you can download it at a later time. So that's another option. And I think, oh, that's what it looks like. And that's it. So do we have any questions? We have 6 minutes.
I don't see any in the chat, but this is a chance for all of you out there, if you have anything you'd like to share with your experiences in the systems or questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Dr. Miranda did say that she has been able to successfully record using the mobile app. So maybe that's been something in a recent update. That's great to hear. I have not tried that yet. It does take a lot of bandwidth. So if you are on one of those restricted data plans, you may want to make sure you're on Wi-Fi if you're using the Zoom app.
Yeah. If you pay by the minute, you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah. But Wi-Fi is everywhere these days. And so, but it does work really well. Any other questions or thoughts, comments?
Well, we really appreciate all of you attending, being part of this first virtual fall faculty conference experience that we are piloting here in the college. We've had some really great attendance at the sessions. I know I've popped into as many as I could, and this has been really hopefully good information, or that you found some nuggets of information within all of these presentations to help you as you work with our doctoral learners, whether you're in teaching content classes or emphasis classes or dissertation classes. We love Zoom more than anything. I will tell you that it's just, whether you're on your computer or on the phone, it's a fabulous app. And I know that all of us feel very connected to each other, even though we have staff that are remote, and I know that all of you work together and collaborate, and hopefully that you feel connected to each other as well. So we hope this conference has been valuable and helps you sort of, you know, any time that you need to reach out to any of us here in the college, we're here to answer your questions, to support you, and to make sure that you have the resources and the training you need to be successful in your jobs. So.
And also, I'd like to add, hopefully you can see we are doing everything in our power to be innovative, to be cost conscious, while other universities talk a good game about doctoral education. We are moving forward day after day to try to make this better and better. And we appreciate your flexibility as we move from one step to another. So thank you.
Thank you. We do have a minute, and Dr. Seymour asked a question about how can you set it up to receive an email notification when somebody posts in the questions to instructor or the private forum. I actually had that as a slide, but I didn't have time to present it. So I just wanted to show everybody really quickly what that can look like. When you're in your Loud Cloud on your home page, you're going to see this little drop down. If you click it, just click on notifications. It will show you this page right here. And then you're going to go up here to notification settings. When you click on notification settings, it will tell you what you can click, and then you can save it. So if you want to be emailed as messages come in, so I have things coming in as a private forum on an as it happens basis, and then I have some other things that I don't want to hear about because I check in, but I do like to know about the private forum posts. And I don't know, I do believe I get messages when I get a questions to instructor forum post as well. So that's how you can set up notifications. It's pretty simple. There's some job aids on CERT in regards to how to use LoudCloud. So if you do ever have any questions, you can always go to our CERT website. It's just cirt.gcu.edu. And under the faculty resources, there's a lot of learner management system job aids that are accessible to you as the faculty member. And some of those things are in there as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.